It's organic. Oh yeah, put the camera on you and you quiet up real quick. Yeah, not so loud now.
You want a peanut? Yep. You want a peanut? Gotta go to bed. Gotta go to bed. Gotta go to bed.
Look at me, using up canned soup that I made myself. Yeah, that's right. Big old jar of canned poultry vegetable soup for two. And because the can is glass, I was able to heat it up in the jar in the microwave. Yum. Yummylicious. And I have a raspberry strawberry coconut cream smoothie with coconut whipped cream on top. Yum. And I'm working on my Minecraft because I'm out in the middle of nowhere bringing home carpet. I've been making broth again. Today I'm separating the meat from the liquid, the solids from the liquids. And I'm leaving the liquids in the fridge overnight so the fat can surface, and because I don't have time to do everything. And then this I'm going to can as dog food. I'm taking out the large bones and I'm going to pulverize them and pull the marrow out and put it back in. And I'm going to add salt this time, because every time we feed this to the dog he wants a little salt in it, or he won't eat it. So, impromptu soup. I've got a bowl with a sliced boiled egg, a bit of dried celery from the Wandering Market, a bit of dried tomato from the Wandering Market. To this, I'm going to add some fresh herbs from the windowsill, a bit of chopped carrots from the fridge, and fresh broth that I'm currently boiling down on the stove. I'll just let it sit, and then it'll be soup. It'll be delish, I'm sure of it. So there you go. There's an assortment of herbs, dried tomatoes, and a boiled egg. Here comes some broth. Just pour that nice, rich, hot stuff down over it all. Just like that. And put the lid back on there. And I think I'll add a little bit of water because that broth has boiled down quite a bit. There we go. Just a smidge. Forget the salt and pepper. At this point, you could even add a little sriracha or chili oil if that's your thing. It's now been about an hour. I've reheated in the microwave. I'm still not getting these tomatoes soft. The celery is overwhelming, so do not try this at home. I have loaded the highly concentrated soup into the dehydrator using a cling wrap and a lot of care and finesse. And let's see if I get that dehydrated soup product that I saw on YouTube that one time. Just thought I'd show you how I'm getting the dried stuff off of the plastic. I'm taking this and sliding it under to peel it off the plastic. supposedly you get a waxy brown substance that's kind of flexible, like fruit leather or, yeah. And you can break it up into flakes and you can store it in a box with wax paper liner, and you could just pull some out to flavor gravies and the broth for soups. So that's what I'm going to give it a try. We'll see how that works. I wanted to try this for 3 years. I have had the soup on here overnight. One tray only was dry enough to pull off. And I got these. We've got these little crispy little bits of old soup. And how much will it take to make a cup of flavored broth? Let's try that. This is what these look like. So it's coming out looking like that, and I've had to very carefully pick it from the plastic. See, that's still too wet. It's not ready. I'll do that later. Oh. And no place to store that, so we'll put it there. Let's see if this makes soup, shall we? So far, it's a little weak in color. Well, I added some salt and pepper. I think I'm going to put just a little bit more in. I heated the water in the microwave. I'll put these in. Give them a stir. And then I'll try it, because I didn't like the color. It's just too pale. It seems so goofy to dehydrate it all night and then rehydrate it first thing in the morning. Yeah. Well, let's give it a sip if I can do this without... There's hardly any aroma at all. There's hardly any flavor at all. Definitely unimpressed. So far, no flavor. So I'm going to add another big old chunk. I don't know how much it's going to take. But the color is one clue. There's got to be a color other than the color of the cup. Now I like the color, so I think I'll call that enough flakes. For camping, this dehydrated soup is probably well worth doing. I'll take it with me on my travels. Well, it's got lots of color, but it's still low on flavor, so I'm going to try some powdered garlic. Just a smidge, thank you very much. Only a smidge. Not what you'd call rich flavor. Still tastes like water, with a bit of garlic and salt added. Let's try adding another flake. We'll stir that down. I think if I get this soup thing right, what I'll do is I will mix up a jar that includes dried herbs and dried garlic and other flavorings, so that I have a little, instant soup in a jar. I'll just crunch it all up with flavors, different flavorings like garlic and probably some of the powdered bone meal from my last experiment. I might try that in here too. I'll just experiment over the next few days and see what I can do with this dried soup. I have a quantity of soup in the bottom. I've added nutritional yeast, garlic powder, and now a spicy spaghetti sauce seasoning mix. And I've got some more of that dried celery in smaller amounts. It's going to be quite nice. I just put too much in the last batch. And I'm going to grind a lot of tomato, and we'll fill this jar and shake the heck out of it, and we'll see if we get soup. I still have more soup on the dehydrator. This stuff is still gluey and gooey. So I can add that to the jar and get a richer soup. We'll see how it goes. Well, I found it really hard to crumble this stuff, so I'm going to put it in this little blender. Powdered tomatoes, ground seaweed, and my jar is full, so I need to put it all in a container that'll hold it all. And yes, I'm getting more on the counter, it seems, than in the jar. I'm losing a lot of food, even over here. But, never mind. This thing fits in here, and now I can give it a good shake in here. Shake it up, shake it up, woo-hoo-hoo. Shake it up, woo-hoo-hoo. This is going to make a really awesome soup, I'm sure of it. It's got tomato and seaweed and yeast, and it's going to be tasty.
Nice hot beverage to have when you want a hot beverage but you don't want caffeine or you don't want sugar or you don't want something sweet. It's quite good. Just needs a little mending. By itself it's a little pale, but if I add a bunch of other things to it, I think I'll get a nice powdered soup for camping.
The trouble with buses, if you're 1 minute late, you're a half an hour late. So I have to sit here for a half an hour, and I'm going to be like screaming in at the last minute for my appointment. The appointment time is a little bit flexible, so it's not too terrible, but it's going to be a boring 20 more minutes to go before I actually get going. I'm dressed, I'm ready to go, and I'm anxious. Do you remember me showing you that vegan leather? It's really gross. It looks like that. And the original piece came out really, really thick and black. Well, I am going to fix Timmy's snowsuit with the vegan leather. Just take these little tiny bits and stitch them on with needle and thread, just like I would leather. And that should give him nice little leather soles to repair what's starting to fall apart here. It took me a minute or two or three, but I got the feet sewn. I think we'll get another 10 years out of this outfit. So, leather foots, and they're not real leather. They're made from June tea, the SCOBY leather. Every time I think about my high blood pressure, I start to fret and I can feel it go up. I've got a monitor, so I can tell when my blood pressure is going up. The only thing I can think of to change at all, oh dear me, is my exercise levels. And the only way I can think of to change them is to make better use of my treadmill, which is normally floated up against the wall.
That is uncompromising in a modern
30 minutes of running, and I went from 170 to 149. I've got a blood pressure device. This goes on your wrist, and we tested it against the doctor's device, and it was getting the same results. So I more or less trust it. I will bring it tomorrow and test it against the doctor's device again. Something you're recommended to do with these things. but I'm still all in the red. To be fair, I have not been taking my blood pressure regularly. I really didn't think it was something I needed to pay attention to. Today I've been taking it at a variety of different times. I feel a little swell-headed, I check it. I take aspirin, I check it. I'm waking up, I check it. I'm going to sleep, I check it. I've been doing stuff, I check it. So I'm just trying to get a picture of what's going on with it. It's very high blood pressure. This puts me at risk of stroke as well as heart attack. Just care a whole lot about not being crippled. Dying is one thing, being crippled is quite another. And I managed to get on the treadmill. I have to put the stupid thing away. And it's annoying to have to do all that packing and unpacking for 30 minutes worth of benefit. So Dan's working on the bathroom again. The sound of his tools is as irritating as not having it done. Don't tell him. I want him to get the job done. I'll just deal with being irritated. But it occurred to me that if he knew how irritating it is, he'd probably get that work done a lot faster just so he could run those tools. I have concluded a long time ago that the world's purpose is to vexate me by any means possible.